locked in.
Look at what we have here, folks.
To the only show that matters.
The cream of the crop.
Duke loves wrestling.
And there is no one that does it better than
your host.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
The Duke.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
We're not like most podcasts. That's right.
You did an impression of yourself?
No, you know the theme song for Nia Jax is I'm not like most girls.
Stop.
You know, it's got this nice, almost like a 80s Prince type of vibe. It's pretty badass. I actually like it.
I have no... Trust me, you're a long way from Prince, especially with that rendition.
So Boston Bad Boy, I was right. Nia Jax did defeat 5 Feet of Fury, Alexa Bliss.
You say that to me as if I care.
Well, you should care because you didn't... I was writing most of my picks, by the way, for WrestleMania, which we can talk about later.
Yeah, I have it written down. Don't worry about it.
Shout out to Nia Jax. In fact, she, her ring gear is more suitable for who she is. She's a model. She's a very attractive person. It accentuates her voluptuous frame better than that tight latex-looking nonsense that she was wearing before. I don't even know
why you're commenting on what a woman's wearing, because I just don't think it's appropriate.
No, it is appropriate because it looks like this is something that she wants to wear versus something that they put her in.
You know that?
Yeah, because this is how she actually dresses in real life.
All right.
So I'm pointing out...
It bothers me that you have such a grasp on what this woman wears in real life, because you shouldn't know that, because when she's on TV, you should watch on TV. When she's a real person in real life, you should not be a creep.
I am a professional. It's my job to know what the hell goes on out here. Listen.
Why don't you start with the show knowing what's going on?
Let me tell you something about me, all right?
I know enough about you, trust me. I've seen too much.
There is a book coming out tomorrow. We're talking Friday the 13th, April 2018. And let me tell you something, okay? And Boston Bad Boy, you're my witness on this.
Oh, boy.
It is going to be the greatest book of all time. And why is that? Tell them.
I don't know. Why is that?
Family, Bacon, and Rasslin, okay, by my man Scotty Richardson. It is a fantastic book, folks. You gotta get out there, get on Amazon, Walmart, what have you. Find that book, buy it, please. You will love it. But if you look at the back cover, you will notice a review by the one, the only, the Duke from the Duke Loves Wrestling podcast, okay?
The fact that anybody would ever... listen to something you had to say, never mind take the time to actually commit it to print, is astounding to
Isn't
me.
it awesome?
No, it's not awesome. It's ridiculous.
Well, listen, Mike Mooneyham and Jim Valley, these are all big names here in the world of...
Yeah, they're all big names, and you're nothing. You're a nobody.
The fact that I round out that crew, that's a badass triple threat right there, Jack. Okay, so that just goes to show...
You're the odd man out.
We are on
the third wheel,
the level...
as usual.
...that we are on the back of books...
What is this Don't group me in with you.
No,
Don't
you're
group me in with you.
Guilty by association, my man. Okay, so when I say, we're not like most podcasts.
God almighty.
That's right. Nia Jax, shout out. Congratulations. Welcome back to Duke Loves Wrestling.
Yeah, if you're still listening, there's nobody left.
I am the Duke, and yes, I do like singing Nia Jax's song. Okay, I'm also a professional reviewer for pro wrestling books, so shout out. Here. And my illustrious co-host, the Boston Bad Boy, I'm Mike Pelosi. He has to put up with my nonsense.
Not illustrious enough to get a better job. Let me put it to you that way.
No, you are stuck with the nonsense going on at the secret location,
my friend. At least you admit that.
We're
making progress after two effing years here.
Listen, WrestleMania was this past weekend. I'm still on a high. It was awesome.
You know what? You should have taken this week off.
Well,
that would have been nice for me.
I had to.
That would have been a little gift for me.
I had to save you from yourself. So this is the best part of your week when I'm here, there, pal. That's right.
That's a sad state of affairs for anybody.
Listen, I had my spread.
Yeah.
It was delicious.
Yeah.
Okay. I went to Applebee's. They gave me a coupon.
Why are you giving them free advertising on this show?
Well, I'm just talking about what I did.
No, you went to a restaurant.
Oh, yes. I went to a restaurant, excuse me, who gave me $10 off of $30, so it was $20.
You know what? You still paid $10 too much.
Give me a break. But I had a whole big spread of food. I had the ribs. I had the, what did I have? Some kind of quesadilla with short ribs.
Intestinal issues?
No.
I can't eat at Applebee's.
I love it.
It goes right through me.
They have the $1 margarita right now for the whole month.
What does that tell you? What could possibly be in that margarita that it only costs $1?
I watched two people make it. It's like a big bucket.
Yeah.
And I watched them make it, and I sat there and I was just like, wow, that's how the sausage is made.
Yeah, you don't want to see that.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? I wanted one.
Did you get one?
No, I was driving. If I was, I don't do the. Listen,
What do you mean you were driving? You're watching.
I don't do the drinking and driving ever. I don't do that. All right, I will take it. I will take the tea, or I will take.
I'm not going to argue with you on that. But what I'm talking about is you didn't get it to bring home with you.
I could have gotten it to go. I didn't think about that.
You could have got a bucket to go?
I should have gotten a bucket to go. No, I have my other stuff there. You know, at the house, what did I go with? I went with the E&J apple.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Listen.
Why don't you learn how to drink? You need to listen.
Apple.
Man up. Learn how to drink. Okay? Man up and learn how to drink.
Yeah, let me tell you something, brother. When it comes to drinking,
and
you know, I'm not in my college years anymore, folks.
Certainly not.
You know, I ain't what I used to be.
Certainly not.
But
and you're half the man you ever was.
To this day, Boston bad boy, I could drink you under the table any day of the week.
You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind.
That's
and you
a
know
fact.
what? You're out of your mind. But it does remind me of something. I watched on demand the Andre the Giant HBO special.
Wasn't that awesome?
Yes, and one of the funniest clips in the movie is they're talking about Andre's legendary drinking. Big dude, could put away a lot of beer. I know a lot of big guys, and friends of mine that I go out boating with, they're packing a lot of beers. I'm pretty sure a friend of mine who will remain nameless, I bet on the course of a day, this guy can easily put a case just on his own.
Yuck. I can't do it anymore.
No, neither can I. And I never could, and nor can I.
I used to be able to.
But this guy's a big dude. So you figure, and so Andre's even bigger. So you're talking volume. But part of my favorite, and we have a bit of the audio here, is just some of the other wrestlers talking about Andre the Giant.
Brother, I was with him one night when he drank 106 beers. 106. Yeah. That's Andre the Giant, brother.
Now, if you don't recognize that voice, the great Ric Flair, and the look on his face is that he's completely awestruck that Andre the Giant shoveled 106 beers into his face. And then there's a clip from Letterman from back in the day where Andre said he drank 117 beers. I'm sure there's a number we haven't even gotten to yet.
Andre was a big drinker after the matches. Most wrestlers would maybe have a six-pack, and Andre, the minimum that he would ever have was 24.
Imagine that, a minimum of 24.
That's pretty significant.
Have you? I don't think I've ever done 24 in a sitting. I mean, I've gone and drank out of a keg, so you don't know really where you're at with that. But 24, it's unbelievable.
He'd have him bring in a case to start the day, a case of wine.
I love how, by the way, everybody's story is a little bit different.
I know, literally.
The beers, the wine, the cocktails.
We go to this hotel. I mean, drinking and drinking and drinking, and all of a sudden now it's time to go to bed. And we get close to the elevator, Andre drops. And the manager of the hotel says, "What are you going to do?" I says, "Call AAA, that's all I can tell you."
I was there. Wasn't there for the drinking. I was there the next morning in the lobby when he's still sleeping on the floor. Nobody could keep up with him. No, I don't care who you were.
It's amazing.
You know what? Andre the Giant is a legend. Okay, and it's interesting because it's interesting, but it's kind of sad that to this day the number one thing that people like to talk about is the drinking.
Well, no, that was the number one thing they talked about.
Oh no, when you listen
but think about the lifestyle that these guys are living in.
Sure, but it's sad.
It's sad, and I was reading something that is interesting. And did anybody think that this guy was in such physical pain that he had to drink?
He had to
numb, literally.
Sure.
To medicate himself.
And we didn't have the opioids and all that stuff that we have today.
No, the access wasn't.
Yeah, thank God, by the way.
Right.
I'm sure his liver did suffer, though. But, yeah, he was drinking away the pain because his back. In fact, when he wrestled Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 3, he could barely walk.
Right. Oh, you see it. You can see it. It just, you can see it.
I think they had to give him a needle for the back. They had to shoot him up a little bit just to get him out there. You know what I mean? And he took a body slam.
You know, it's funny you say that. I was talking to a friend of mine, and there's a Beatles song called Dr. Robert. And Dr. Robert was a real guy. He was the guy that gave the injections to JFK. Now, JFK, on a lot of drugs when he was president, because he had a broken back and had a really tough time with pain management. And I guess Bobby Kennedy was furious, and they had to, this guy came in and kept, shooting up JFK so they could get, and JFK saying, leave this guy alone is the only thing that works. You know what I mean? It's the only thing I can get to the day. And when you go back and look at pictures and film footage of JFK walking, he's walking like a broken man.
That's a fact.
You can tell There's something not right.
When you go to the JFK library.
For a young guy like that.
I know,
you know?
They document that in the JFK library,
it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So here's a guy, JFK had a broken back, well documented, the whole PT 109. But, you know, these guys out there working, and it extends, interestingly enough, from wrestling to football to, you know what I mean?
Sure.
People say, well, the drugs and the use is rampant. If you're a guy getting your ass kicked and you go have a couple of beers, you go, oh, boy, you know, after work you have dinner, you feel a little relaxed.
Sure.
Imagine if you're going, I got to do this again in 6 hours. I need to sleep. I need to just like.
Flair would wrestle twice on Sunday, every day and twice on Sunday.
Of course, he
damn
would do it if
right.
he
He was
had to.
drinking kamikaze shots and doing all kinds of stuff at night.
I mean,
of course he was.
just to maintain a level.
Yeah, it's true.
And so it's sad. It's interesting. Again, everyone's like, yeah, Andre the Giant, big. There's two sides to it, but they were all partying pretty hard back then.
Well, the main idea is this. Go see the documentary on HBO, the Andre the Giant story there, folks. It's fantastic, especially if you want to learn about how pro wrestling was in the 70s and the 80s, early 90s,
and how
the
far,
heyday.
right? And Vince McMahon's interviewed, and you can see how far they've ruined it since the 70s and 80s.
Oh,
you know how far they've gone from where they should be.
Would you stop? Listen, I'm not going to let you ruin this episode here. Okay, next week is our 2-year anniversary episode. We got an action-packed episode here.
I might leave. I might do a walkout, and you'll get no 2-year anniversary show. How do you like them apples?
In fact, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I got one of my special guests from NoDQ.com, one of the top pro wrestling websites out there. We're going to review WrestleMania real quick and get away from the Boston bad boy because he's out of his mind. It's time to run the ropes. I want to educate this knucklehead Boston bad boy in the top story in the world of professional wrestling, which is obviously WrestleMania. Let's go. All right, Boston bad boy. I know that you love it when I educate you on what's going on in pro wrestling.
Boy,
okay, I know what you love, but
yeah.
Every now and then, I like to give you a little break, and I bring in one of my expert friends here to break it down.
Now, listen, I know that you know experts. I don't believe for 1 minute you have friends.
Okay.
So who was this poor person you've dragged on this show this week?
Listen, don't be rude and don't embarrass me in front of our guests, okay? So without further ado, from the wonderful pro wrestling website, NoDQ.com, ladies and gentlemen, welcome the man, the myth, the legend, Aaron Rift. How are you, Aaron?
I'm doing great, Duke. Thank you for having me on. But by the way, you already made a mistake. It's not a pro wrestling website. It's a sports entertainment website.
Oh,
right.
Okay. Let me explain something to you here, Aaron. I don't bring you on this show for you to disagree with me. Okay, I will have my lawyer sue you. For that.
Aaron,
okay,
Aaron, just listen to me. You keep the Duke in line. There's an extra $10 in at the end of the show.
Give me a break. You put him up to this, didn't you?
No.
Okay, all right. Well, anyway, so we had WrestleMania just happen here, the biggest spectacle of them all, sports entertainment. Aaron, what do you feel was the biggest match of the night from your perspective there? Because there were so many things going on. What would you say was the number one match?
So are we talking about strictly WrestleMania or WrestleMania weekend in its entirety?
Well, let's talk strictly WrestleMania first, and then we'll talk the weekend, because it sounds like you have a 1 and a 1A.
Okay, well, as far as WrestleMania goes, I feel like the best show, the best show was not WrestleMania of the weekend, but the best match, I would say, was Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle against Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. That was the match that I was engaged in the most. I was entertained with that match from start to finish. I thought it was very well laid out. Everybody looked strong. Rousey looked great, and I think it delivered as far as the pomp and circumstance goes of WrestleMania. To me, that was the match that 20, 30 years from now, people will look back and say, that was the match that stole the show. How
does that stack up from matches in the past where you had other celebrities? I mean, I'm thinking of Lawrence Taylor. I'm thinking of even Snooki and some of these other folks here. How would you rate Ronda Rousey against some of the others?
Well, that was a great question, and I think it was way above those matches. I think Lawrence Taylor did a decent job, but it was just an okay match, I thought, for one of the worst WrestleManias of all time, maybe the worst one. I think that Rousey held her own, and I think she really exceeded people's expectations. I think people were having very mixed feelings about what she could do, and I think she really went out there and showed everybody that she can go. And also, like I said, I think the match was laid out so well that it really made everybody look really strong.
Wow, good talking there. when it comes to Ronda Rousey, do you feel, because, I mean, let's be honest here, she hasn't been very good on the mic. I don't know if that's nerves or if this is just, above her abilities there.
Way above her ability.
Stop it. Do you feel it makes sense to pair her up with a mouthpiece, a manager who can handle that part so she can play more of the Brock Lesnar role where she just gets in there, kicks ass, and goes home?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, I think a lot of people would like to see Paul Heyman be the mouthpiece for Ronda Rousey, but at the same time, if she's going to be a babyface character, then I don't really think that would work so well. I think as long as she just sticks to being, like a Goldberg type of character where she only says a few things and she stays serious, I think she can be okay and she can get by as long as she doesn't say too much. Just let her do her talking in the ring, so to speak.
Yeah, good call. Okay, so you said that WrestleMania was not the event of the weekend. So in your not so humble opinion, because you are from NoDQ.com, I mean, we're talking about the sports entertainment website out there. What was the event of the weekend this past weekend?
Well, funny enough, I talk about NoDQ joking around about it being a sports entertainment website, but I would have to say WrestleMania for me was the number 3 show of the weekend for WWE. I have not seen the Ring of Honor or Lucha Underground versus Impact yet. It's just been such a hectic week. I'm hoping to check out those shows when I get a chance. But as far as WWE shows go, I did enjoy Raw after Mania. That would be my number 2 as far as overall entertainment value goes. But number 1 for me would be the NXT TakeOver in New Orleans. I thought the ladder match and Gargano versus Ciampa were 2 of the best, if not the 2 best NXT matches of all time. And that's really saying something considering the quality of all the NXT matches. I think that both of those matches were extremely entertaining and well done, and I think both of those are serious contenders for Match of the Year. What do you guys think?
Well, I got to tell you, Adam Cole is a punk. I don't like him. I don't like his face. I don't like his gimmick. I don't like anything about him. I think he really is peanut butter and jelly, which is very boring. But everybody else in that match was intriguing to me. So I have to agree with you. That match was off the charts awesome. But I was very upset that Adam Cole won that match.
I got to say, first of all, a man who attempts to claim that Applebee's is edible food has no jurisdiction to call peanut butter and jelly a horrible food.
Give me a break.
Secondly, I didn't watch this match, so that's all I have to say.
Stop it. So that's my take. I agree with you on the match part, but Adam Cole, I don't know about this guy. I mean, Aaron, come on. You have to agree with me on this one at least.
Well, I would have liked to have seen Velveteen Dream win. I really like him as a character. I think he's got a lot of momentum right now. And I think he was my pick to win it. So I'm a little surprised, maybe a little disappointed. But, time will tell with Adam Cole. We'll see how he does when he gets to the main roster. He's got a lot of hype surrounding him from Ring of Honor. But, once you get to WWE, there's no guarantee that you're going to connect with the mainstream casual fans. So there's still time to tell with him. I think the jury's still out when it comes to Adam Cole.
Sure. So you said that you really enjoyed the Raw after WrestleMania, which I did as well. And folks, just a reminder, WrestleMania is the end of the WWE fiscal year. So the Raw after WrestleMania is literally their first event of their calendar year. So what about the Raw after WrestleMania really stood out for you there, Aaron?
Well, all the debuts, of course, were very awesome, and Bobby Lashley coming back was a big deal. I think that if he's used properly, he can become a really big force in WWE and maybe have a better run than last time. He can possibly have a match with Brock, maybe a match with Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe. There's a lot of possibilities, and you spread them out over time. I think you can really get a lot of mileage out of Bobby Lashley this time around. So I'm curious to see how things play out with him. And just the overall flow of the show, it moved very quickly. It was very fast-paced, more so than usual. And that's what I really miss about Raw. I miss when Raw was a must-see show and you had all these things happening. Unfortunately, you cannot have guys coming back, being called up from NXT every single week, so you don't have that on a regular basis. But just in general, I really liked the pacing of this week's show. It felt like the segments were moving at a very quick rate, and it kept you engaged and interested. And that's what I really like about Raw when it's a must-see show and when you're glued to the TV set.
Sure. Hey, one last question here, since we're on the topic of Raw and debuts and what have you. Former NXT Women's Champion Ember Moon, she debuted as the tag team partner of the new Raw Women's Champion Nia Jax. Is Ember Moon the real deal, or is she more hype than substance?
Well, I love her character. I love her look. I like her entrance music. I think everything about her has star quality, so I really do think that there's a lot of potential with her, and I think she can be one of the biggest stars in WWE, again, if they utilize her properly and don't drop the ball on her like they did with some of the other women like Bayley. I think if they just let her be an ass kicker. You know, when I look at her, I see action figures. I think they can market her with action figures and just with all sorts of different things, T-shirts, all sorts of merchandising. I think she's a very marketable character. So unless she gets hurt or has a bad attitude, I think she's going to do really well in WWE.
Good call. Aaron, tell us about your website real quick. Let folks know what it's all about and how they can reach it.
Well, NoDQ.com has been around for a while. I actually started it back in 1998, 20 years ago. The original domain was www.wcw.com, which I did lose to WWE, by the way. So, you made that joke about suing me earlier. You're not the first person who's threatened me. It's happened before.
That's right. Well, Vince McMahon's my friend. Vince McMahon's my friend.
At least you know from Duke, though, it's an empty threat, and always will be.
Give me a break. Keep going.
Yeah, Duke's a good guy.
I wouldn't go that far.
Well, somewhat of a good guy.
Yeah, okay, there we go.
But anyways, NoDQ.com, news, analyst, breaking down everything going on in wrestling. There's a YouTube channel, youtube.com/AaronRift.NoDQ. We do videos almost on a daily basis. I do Q&A videos. We have panel videos. We bring on different people. And the videos just break down what's going on in the world of wrestling, much like what we're doing here today. So check it out, youtube.com/AaronRift.NoDQ. And, of course, NoDQ.com. Follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/NoDQDOTCOM, as well as Aaron Rift. And that's all I got.
Good stuff. Like I said, I've been a big fan of your website for years. We appreciate you guys covering what we do here on the show. So it's awesome having you on, Aaron. And listen, man, I got to tell you, the next time you have you come on, please just agree with me a little bit more.
Absolutely. I will try my best.
Hey, this is Daniel Richards, the progressive liberal. I want you to remember to vote Democrat, turn this country around, continue listening to one of the best out there, the Duke Loves Rasslin podcast.
All right, so you know how last year I had the WrestleMania matchup with that Babomb.
Well, you called it a matchup. I called it a slaughter.
Give me a break.
That was how the results.
First of all, the guy won because I allowed him to win. Let's be clear about that.
You're doing an awful lot of running of your mouth. Well, you know what? You were running your mouth last week, and you're running your mouth this week.
Well, but here's what you got to understand. Okay, this guy claims to be this big video game star, and I understand he has his connections, but he doesn't realize that I'm the greatest. I'm the Duke. Okay,
there you go.
So here's what happened. We were supposed to have this go down because, WrestleMania weekend just passed, right? Yeah. This guy is afraid of me, and he's so afraid of me.
Really?
He canceled. He rescheduled on me, okay? Talking about he's sick. He's sick. Well, let me tell you something, Babomb, and I know you're listening out there, you jerk, okay? When the Duke calls you out, you answer the challenge. We're talking about WrestleMania 2. I know that you're afraid of me. You should be, because I'm the greatest video game player of all time, damn it. Okay? So here's how it goes. Step up to the plate. Because the Duke means business, Jack.
Well,
that's right.
In the spirit of competition, I would like to introduce Babomb here on the show. Babomb, thank you for joining us tonight on the Duke Loves Wrestling podcast.
Hi, guys.
Oh, my goodness.
So, Babomb, you may or may not know, because you may have a life and not listen to every episode of this show, but Duke has been running his mouth about WrestleMania, and he keeps wanting to... Right, it's very strange.
Why are you on my show right now, Babomb?
Honest to God, I just woke up from a nap, and I picked up my phone, and they were like, hey, do you want to harass Duke? And I was like, well, that sounds like a good time.
Oh, boy.
We're gonna do a whole new segment of the show called, instead of Ask Duke, we're going to do Harass Duke. Okay, and it's going to be me and Babomb just crapping all over you for 40 minutes.
Why don't you tell the entire world listening why on earth are you afraid to have WrestleGamia 2 with me? Tell the world how you've been making up stories about being sick and all this nonsense.
Duke, here's the thing. I know it's different for you because you're a low-level character and you don't get to go to the huge conventions and stuff like that. But what happens when you're running the candle, burning the candle at both ends? You end up getting sick occasionally because you want to put out a very good product for the audience, not what you do. Boston Bad Boy does a great job.
Thank you.
However,
Thank you. As always, thank you.
It's like,
well,
I
believe that. See, because I know, for instance, that what Babomb is suffering from now is an affliction known as the Pax Plague. And what happens? And what happens is there's a lot of people from various backgrounds, and they're all commingling, for lack of a better word, because this is a family program. And somehow Babomb, as you can hear, he might have commingled a little bit too far.
Well, he doesn't realize
because he's very famous, and everybody wants to be near him. Unlike you, they want to be near him. They want to be in his sphere.
I sent my people.
As a side note, guys, before we get into this whole entire rigmarole, I want to thank my team that has been working extraordinarily hard over the past year and a half to make us the largest retro gaming streaming team on Facebook. And we found out this past week while we were at PAX that we're the largest one out there. The next closest one is almost, I think it was 65,000 away. So we're leagues above everybody else.
That's incredible, man.
I want to thank Swerd. I want to thank Wicked Gaming 617, Lame Genie, ADD Gamer, Viper's Fury 86. I want to thank One Coin Only, Spinback Retro Gaming, 8-Bit Steve, and you should play this. I think it's the amount of stuff that we've gotten in over the past year has been just incredible, and I'm really looking forward to what's happening next. So, as a side note, I just want to throw that before I start throwing Duke under the bus.
Well, as a quick aside to your aside, are you looking for anybody to come work for you? Because
no,
I really
not.
need to get off the show.
He's not available. I have him on a contract. He's not available, okay? And listen, but Bob, your growth has been massive over the past year, and I do commend you and your team for that. Seriously, your Facebook page and you know the YouTubes and what have you. You guys are definitely a follow that I check on every single day, especially late at night when I can't sleep. I watch the live gaming that you guys do. But I have to admit that your growth coincides with you and I having WrestleGamia, so you're welcome, okay? Ever since I kicked your butt in WrestleGamia 1, suddenly you've had growth through the roof. It's like everyone feels bad for you, so they want to support you now.
Delusional is what he is. It's one of the...
Well, above and beyond delusional, I know for a fact that he's been rummaging through his mother's attic looking for his Game Genie, thinking that he can use that to beat you if there ever is a rematch for this whole WrestleGamia.
So what?
He's got cheat code books. He's got old copies of, what was it, Nintendo Gamer magazine.
You can't prove any of this.
He's got it all.
You're like the brand new Billy Mitchell. That's
don't start that
What a
crap.
great story that is, by the way.
Stop that.
How insane.
Stop it. It's not true.
It is true.
No.
We've known this for years in the community. We definitely, but there was no solid evidence, and now there is. So thank God, because the guy's a complete dick.
Stop it.
Babomb, can you explain real quick, because I'm not clear. So he got a high score in his games using an emulator. How is that different than doing it on the actual machine?
So the difference between that, so you can fine-tune an emulator. Slow it down and speed it up. The machine hardware, you can't.
Right.
There was one other thing that they did notice, that there was a splice in the tape. They almost were able to pull it off, but somebody noticed that there was a splice in the tape of his Donkey Kong record.
In the videotape?
Like in the videotape itself.
Wow. What balls on that guy, huh? Holy moly.
Billy Mitchell, you're a friend of mine. Don't listen to them. You're a friend of mine.
Of course you like Billy Mitchell.
You do not want to be a friend of Billy Mitchell. It's you can joke about being friends with so many other people, but people go, well, what does he have to gain from it? And I'm like, well, millions of dollars in appearances since 1984 in hot sauce.
Yeah.
He has one of the world's most renowned hot sauce, even though it's not that good. Well, people know about it.
Billy, I like your hot sauce, Billy. I like your hot sauce.
Duke, you know what?
Bad.
I will condone a friendship, imaginary or not, with Vince McMahon before I condone a friendship of yours with this guy.
He is the Donkey Kong champion, damn it, and he will always be.
I don't think so.
Since 1981, he has been the Donkey Kong champion.
My God, you sound like some of the scrubs on my site.
What do you mean sound like? He is one of the scrubs on your site.
I just love, like, some of the people who are like, he's a nice guy. I'm like, he's not a nice guy.
No.
I sat down with him. He was so rude, like, the whole time.
Well, maybe he just doesn't like you. I mean, come on.
No, he doesn't.
And the feeling's mutual from what I understand.
Yeah, the feeling's mutual. Yeah, he doesn't like me at all, so...
So,
Sorry,
dude,
I'm coughing so much, guys.
No, it's all right. Listen, you are sick, and that's why I brought you on here to shut Duke up, because he kept saying he's lying, he's sandbagging me here, he's all this, that. So I wanted to bring you on, make sure people know you're suffering from an affliction, a very serious one, and you will clean Duke's clock at some point in the future.
I'm bringing Billy Mitchell with me as my special guest manager.
I'd love to see
that. Okay, he will be my special guest manager. He's going to dress up as the Grand Wizard, and we're going to straighten you up. Okay?
Yeah.
That's right. Now, listen, real quick, Babomb, now that we've admitted the fact that you're ducking me for WrestleMania, what did you think of this past year's WrestleMania? Because I'm going to tell you, we had Aaron Riff, the creator of NoDQ.com. He came on and he said that this was the worst WrestleMania in history, which I was very surprised to hear him say that.
I don't agree with that. I think there were a lot of highs and a lot of lows. I think the teasing of how long it took The Undertaker to come out, I think that was a little over the top. But, God, Undertaker looked great.
Yep.
He looked so good, and it was really nice to see him come out and fight and win. And now he's fighting Jericho at the Grandest Royal Rumble or whatever the hell they're calling that thing. So that'll be cool. I agree with the crowd. I don't care where you stand. A very predictable Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar match. It's old at this point. The crowd was bored vocally. I think Nicholas could have put on a better match than Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. Oh, he did.
Yeah, he did.
When Braun Strowman beat Cesaro. That wasn't fun. I thought that was cute. At the same time, I feel like it really devalued the belts. That was just my personal opinion. Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles, that was not as good as they've had in the past. It was great, but it just wasn't, a good heel turn. I guess that was kind of fun. Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, that was fun. I think Nia Jax deserved it overall this time, especially because it's got to be really hard for somebody who is that large to be involved in a fat-shaming project and storyline on the show, which has got to hurt your feelings, a little bit.
Sure.
But I thought it was really good. Daniel Bryan versus Shane McMahon. The only thing that pissed me off is, why did they spend the first 10 minutes of the match with Daniel Bryan on the ground? We didn't wait long enough for Daniel Bryan to come back and fight. They got the guy on the ground for the first 10 minutes, but it was good. I'm glad they gave him the win. I'm trying to think. New Day, Bludgeon Brothers, and Usos, I thought it was just kind of weird.
Yeah, it didn't.
Ronda Rousey was good. I think she was fast and a little too, but once she warmed up in there, I think she did a great job. I don't know how you guys feel about it. She's over in my eyes.
Well, I just think she needs a mouthpiece. I think, I don't like the way that they're utilizing her. It's like you have to accentuate the positives and hide the negatives. She can't speak on the mic. So instead of putting her in that position, let somebody else talk. People are paying to see her beat somebody up. That's
you know what, the whole thing of bringing these UFC fighters into the WWE to begin with is this mystique that they might actually kill somebody in the ring.
Exactly.
So the more they ruin that mystery by having her, if she's not good on the mic, she should just be this pacing caged animal.
That's it.
And let someone else, some character mouth off for her. Otherwise, it's going to be over, I think, very, very quickly. And not over in the good way, but her stint will be over quickly.
No, yeah, personally, I think if she keeps taking promo classes, she might be okay. But she still sounds better than Roman Reigns.
Well, that's true. You know that.
So the United States Championship, I'm shocked that I haven't seen WWE has come to terms with Rusev's contract yet. I think if they did not give the guy the U.S. Championship, that was the time to do it. Rusev's hot. He's white fire right now. He's unbelievable. And he's so over with Rusev Day. I don't know what they were thinking. I'm sick of Jinder Mahal. I get they're really pushing India, but this is crazy. The guy's from Calgary. let's get realistic about this.
And listen, I have a lot more questionable things to do with people from Canada than from anybody anywhere else in the world. I mean, Canadian people, they frighten me, to be quite honest.
Stop it right now. Stop.
They're too polite.
Stop.
They're too nice.
Leave them alone.
There's something going on up
Natty,
there.
come
There's
get
something
him.
going
Come
on.
get him, Natty Neidhart.
You didn't play college hockey, did you?
Yeah.
Any of the things you just described.
Yeah.
I have two teeth in the back of my mouth that I've been getting worked on for the past 2 years.
Nice.
I completely disagree with what you said. What'd you think of Asuka and Charlotte? Like, I didn't like the finish, but I liked the match.
I loved the match. I thought that it was the most respectful way to end Asuka's streak. Have her lose to the Queen, Charlotte. The tap out, making her tap, that was kind of different. But it makes sense. I didn't like the way it was executed per se, but I thought overall, though, that was a solid match, man.
I think it was a great match. I just didn't like the finish. I didn't like. I mean, I got the struggle. It looked really good, and then she had a bridge up on one arm, and how powerful. But just to see Asuka tap so quickly, that was the weird part for me.
Yeah, same.
But whatever. And then to completely ruin what Charlotte certified by giving the belt to Carmella, it's so stupid on SmackDown this past week. But anyways. I thought Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, and Miz put on a clinic at the beginning of the show. Yep. Honestly, I think those three guys are going to forever be great. I mean, I love the Miz. I am a mark all day for the Miz right now. Just of how well he plays the heel gimmick, how well he plays the fake shoots. He's really good at what he does. And this is fun. This will be fun for him to try to get that belt back, or maybe it'll be time for him to take a little time and spend with the and I don't know, but I thought it was really good.
Well, the Miz,
Battle Royal,
the Miz has crossed over to the point where he gets respect. So the fans will boo him out of respect at this point because they know that he's playing the heel. But for the most part, they cheer the piss out of this guy because they understand that he's earned it. He's completely more than anybody in that company, other than a Daniel Bryan or an AJ Styles or Alexa Bliss or but he has earned it, man. That Miz there, he's something else.
Yeah, he's something else. I like Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt's little setup. I think that's going to be fun. Let's see, what else do we have going on?
Battle Royals.
The women's Battle Royal, I think it was kind of cool because everybody, literally, if you look through everybody's picks at my house that night, it's Bayley, Sasha, and in your head, before the match ended, it came down to those two.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, I thought that was kind of fun. I was kind of, it wasn't exactly. The problem with the Battle Royals that they've been having lately is there's just too many things going on at the beginning. And you can't concentrate on one thing. So it's not fun to watch until 20 to 30% of the ring is cleared out.
Sure. When it gets down to the last, 6 to 8 people, then you can actually see what's going on. Sure.
Absolutely. And that's where, that's where really what it comes down to. That's awesome. But, I don't know, the men's Battle Royal there wasn't much going on. I didn't like the way they introduced the women's Battle Royal where here's what bothered me. It was Natalya walking down without her music.
Sure.
You think that woman deserves it at this point? She has been there for everybody for such a long period of time. They probably should have thrown her music, given her a walk down. And then what's Paige becoming GM? That was kind of weird. She looks terrible, by the way, guys. I don't know.
Well, she's hurting, man. Let's be honest here. That neck injury that she has, there's no way that she's not on some kind of pain medication, which has contributed to the way that she looks. It's got to be some kind of narcotic or what have you, because you don't look like that unless you're on something, which it's legal.
No.
I'm not saying she's illegally on something, but
No. She's. But that's what they all start legally on it.
Sure,
exactly.
That's the problem. Is look at Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
From out of nowhere, he was doing so great, and then boom. I don't know. All in all, WrestleMania, I'll give it like a C+.
Wow.
It wasn't the best. It wasn't the worst. I think there are people out there. I know What Culture is one of those guys. They think it's one of the best WrestleManias they've seen in years. and I get confused when they say that. I'm like, well, don't you guys cover wrestling?
Okay. All right. You're being very derogatory right now.
Listen,
and I'm just going to tell you.
has been nice enough with his
cool.
108 fever to come on this show. And one last question before we let you go, Babomb. Is there any way you can help me build a Dukes Loves Wrestling podcast emulator so I don't have to actually be here to do the show?
That would be a work of pure torture.
You're telling me I'm sitting here every week. You're telling me it would be torture.
I'd have to, what do you call it? Like put in all these voice codes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I'm gonna just point out something for the world, and I think I've done this once before. I'm gonna point out something for the world here. Babomb's father is an avid fan of this show. He enjoys my voice. He enjoys the stuff that I talk about. So Babomb can say whatever he wants. I understand that this is just, he's being yellow-bellied, he's being green-eyed, he's jealous because his dad actually enjoys what I bring to the table. So I'm just putting that out there.
So it makes you feel any better, Duke. I don't think my father's listened to your podcast and was on it.
That's because you blocked it on his stuff.
I think he also blocked you on Facebook.
That's
because you kept on sending him weird messages and chocolates in the mail.
That's right.
That was the issue.
That's right.
Your obsession with me has become a little over the top.
That's what happens.
On that, Babomb, once you're off here, we have that phone call with the police we're going to get on with. I know there's just the thing we got to do.
I got connections with the police. I'm not worried about that. Listen, Babomb, seriously though, next week is our 2-year anniversary, and I have to say, my rivalry with you has been ongoing these past 2 years. It's been enjoyable. I've enjoyed kicking your butt up and down and all the way around for the world to see. So thank you for your contribution. Thank you for your contribution to the Duke Loves Wrestling podcast.
Absolutely. No, I wouldn't have it any other way except for every other way that you just said it. So I appreciate it.
Hey, listen, one last time, plug your Facebook group there, please.
My goodness, guys, XBit Gaming on Facebook. If you're just the regular person who loves going on and watching people play those Nintendo games and Sega games and all those retro games that used to play even Jaguar games, why not? Wow. Go to XBit Gaming on Facebook. Every single night there's a different streamer streaming every week. We have different types of streams. We have, all the way from a Commodore 64 all the way up to newer PC games, but we always stay looking retro. So you're always going to have a game like Cuphead all the way down to Super Mario Brothers all the way down. Hell, we'll do Pong. I don't give it crap. I'll play Pong for 3 hours. But, yeah, no, we're here to play. So check out XBit Gaming. Should I do the catchphrase? XBit Gaming, when bits mattered.
Wow, look at that. Awesome. And next time you come on, we're talking exclusively Commodore 64, okay? Because
I will talk. I actually got to sit with one of the creators of the Amiga's football game that I used to play all the time.
Yeah, my grandparents had it.
Yeah, it's cool. You did see that they're remaking a Commodore 64, right?
No, but now I'm going to have to go out and buy it.
Commodore 64 and an Atari, they're an HD system coming out. So.
That's incredible. Yeah, Jumpman Jr., I was all about that on the Commodore 64. I don't know, there's like a James Bond game I remember playing. There was a couple of cool games.
Yeah.
Wow.
So my favorite was the with the Short Circuit game.
Oh, I think I vaguely remember that.
My favorite is you're a couple of nerds here talking a bunch of nonsense. Jesus. What the hell?
Sorry, Duke. Mortal Kombat and Call of Duty. I'm a gamer. Burp, 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 burp.
That's right.
Shut up.
This is Tommy Wildfire Rich coming to you live. You're listening to my man, Duke Loves Wrestling.
You know, Boston Bad Boy, that Babomb, if you noticed when we were talking,
he's a gentleman and a scholar.
If you noticed when we were talking to him, he stopped coughing for a very extended period of time.
You know what I noticed when we were talking to him?
What?
He said that I consistently put out a good product, unlike you.
Yeah,
that's what
mistaken.
I noticed. That's what I took away from that conversation.
He's jealous because his dad loves what I do, and that's just... I understand that.
The fact that anybody could be jealous of you is just so beyond the realm of reason.
I think his father wishes I was his son instead of this guy. So it's kind of like what you could be. Okay, I got the year-round tan.
You're on another planet.
I got the year-round tan.
You're on another planet.
I got a better beard. I'm more handsome than him. Okay, I'm shorter than him. I got bigger muscles. I wear a size 13.
You know what you are?
What?
You're the Billy Mitchell of podcasts.
Yeah, Billy Mitchell. You are invited to the Duke Loves Wrestling podcast.
Absolutely not.
You are welcome to come on and tell your side of the story.
Over
I'm tell you, Billy,
dead body is that guy coming
Billy
on.
Mitchell.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of this guy.
Over my
he is the Donkey Kong champion.
Look at me when I say this.
Uh-oh.
Over my dead body.
Leave him alone.
Is that no good?
Stop it.
Two-timing, emulating, cheating Donkey Kong and MF are coming on this show. I'll tell you that.
No one has proven to me that Billy Mitchell's a cheater.
Well, I think people who know proved it.
Billy boy, you're my buddy. That's right. Listen, first of all, and it was brought up during the segment with Babomb. Mm-hmm. Hate to get a little somber here, but I do want to give a shout out and a tip of the hat to WWE superstar Paige.
What?
She was forced to retire.
Oh, look at that! What a surprise!
It was from in-ring competition, so she will not be wrestling, as far as we know, ever again. She was told that because of a significant neck injury that her in-ring career is done. They did make her the GM of SmackDown, which is nice, so she'll still be able to draw a paycheck.
Which is the kiss of death, by the way, in the WWE, because that's what they do.
Bryan.
Exactly right. This is the kiss of death in the death contract that Vince McMahon puts you in when you can't get your act together, either medically or otherwise. She was more of a liability outside of the ring than inside of the ring. And then guess what? She became a liability inside the ring and injured herself beyond the scope of what they're willing to, sign off on. So now they're just going to keep her locked in. At the age of 23, will be in the grave before she's out of that contract. I'll tell you that right now.
It amazes me how you can consistently be so negative about everything that the WWE does. And here's what you got to understand. They care about the talent clearly, which is why they continue to employ her.
Let me give you something clearly. Let me give you something.
She can't wrestle, and they're employing her.
Let me give you something. You know what? She could find herself plenty of employment. I can think of one industry in particular that she would do all right in.
Don't do it.
But let me put it to you this way. There are too many, and it's becoming a growing thing where I don't think you had this before. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the numbers were there before. And if the numbers actually are there before, it only reinforces my argument that this has been going on far too long. And that is that there are these young wrestlers in their 20s who are retiring early because of injury. Pre-prime guys and girls who have had no chance to become legends because they're done at age 25. I could name a few off the top of my head, and I'm going to force you to. I'm going to say, we'll say Paige, because you brought her up. Now she's retired. Daniel Bryan, retired.
Daniel Bryan was in his late 20s, early 30s.
Okay,
whatever. Let's not be ridiculous.
All right,
now,
he's younger than you are. He's younger than you can remember being.
Sure.
So the point is, how far? And who was the other guy?
Edge.
Yes, with the neck injury. Correct.
Early 30s.
Right. So this is happening, and these are people that they've invested a lot of money in. So is it? What is it? Is it gross negligence on their part? I think it is, that they're allowing these people to go beyond their limits and become injured just to put asses in seats because the fans are lately demanding a blood sport.
Well, that's the fans' problem. That's not the company's problem.
No, but who cultivated the fans?
No. The company tells these guys, slow it down. The WWE style of wrestling. Look at The Miz. They want wrestlers to wrestle more like The Miz instead of all these flippy mania moves here.
You want to know what happened if they wanted wrestlers to wrestle more like The Miz?
What?
More wrestlers would be wrestling like The Miz.
Oh boy.
Okay, so either you got a problem with they can't pull talent, which maybe is a problem, although we know several trainers they pull from, and these guys don't mess around. So are they not pulling the talent, or are they not actually telling them that? Are they just letting them do whatever they want and then say, you know what? Hey, if they get injured, we still got them locked in, and until Paige's face falls off and no one wants to look at her anymore, we'll keep her in a contract because she'll pull people in, and people are going to want to see her because maybe another sex tape comes out, and that's titillating, and they'll keep her around for that. It's ridiculous.
You're being
because
derogatory.
These people are supposed to be going in the ring to wrestle. They're not going in the ring to be injured and then tossed out to pasture. So explain to me how that is how you run a wrestling company. Is this just a talent mill? What's going on here?
No.
That they're just recycling people through a sausage machine? What happens?
No. Listen, people get injured, okay? This is a dangerous sport.
Oh, please.
We have to understand
This is sports entertainment. This is choreographed. No one should be getting injured. You know what happens when someone gets injured? One of the acrobats at Cirque du Soleil died because there was a mishap. It's not supposed to happen. It's supposed to all be very well coordinated. You've got these things all worked out way in advance. And secondly, you've got these people who are supposed to be professionals doing it. So is it possible that people join the WWE in tip-top training, and the WWE does F all to make sure these people stay in training?
Ridiculous.
Or they get lazy, or they don't tell them that here's how we want you to do things. There's no oversight.
Ridiculous.
That's what's happening.
Ridiculous.
Obviously,
Ridiculous.
It's a money grab as always. Vince's money grab.
No.
When he's not making racially charged storylines because he can't come up with a good idea. He's just trying to push this thing.
Let me tell you something. Paige has been wrestling since she was in the mother's womb, okay?
Yeah.
I guarantee you that most of her injuries happened before she even got into WWE. So this is cumulative, okay? This has been built up over time.
All right, let me put it to you this way.
So don't give me that crap where you're blaming my friend Vince McMahon and my favorite company in the world, WWE. I'm not going to stand for it anymore, Boston Bad Boy, and I think you need to recant everything you just said.
All right, so
thank you.
All right,
okay?
so let me put it. Let me draw a little metaphor here, or an example. Here's a fella. Young fella comes up through the minor leagues. He's playing baseball, okay? His whole life, he's played baseball since he could hold a baseball. Since he was in his mother's womb, he was playing baseball. He finally gets to the majors, and what happens? The coach puts him in, and he gets hit by 17 pitches in one game. And one of those pitches breaks his orbital in his eye, and he can never play baseball again. Who was negligent enough to leave him in the game to get hit by 17 pitches after he'd been hit by 15 of them? Is that his fault? Because the coach who he's supposed to trust, the coach who's supposed to guide him, who's supposed to make this team work, said to go back in again, and they went in one more time and their career's over? No, that's whose fault. It's not the player's fault for following the team push. It's the coach. And in this case, the coach is Vince McMahon and the idiot son-in-law who are making these calls. These people are getting injured, and it's ending their career, and it's ridiculous.
You're disgracing
because what's going to
yourself.
happen is you're going to get less and less people are going to want to become professional wrestlers if they think they're going to break their necks and either end up in a wheelchair,
You don't know what you're talking
end up like Daniel Bryan, where if he bumps his head getting into the shower, could be a vegetable.
You don't know
and
what you're talking
Paige,
about.
who has a neck injury so bad at age 23, she comes out there definitely on something, some kind of, what I don't know, she didn't look good. She didn't look good. So here's this, you effed them all up now. You've effed them all up you've gone for the short money, the fast money. You haven't played a long game. The WWE, and correct me if I'm wrong, was built on playing the long game. They developed legends. They developed these guys who wrestled for our entire childhoods before we were even watching it. These guys were in the game. When did Flair start professional wrestling?
1972
All right,
against
1972.
George Scrap Iron Gadaski.
When was the last time Ric Flair was in the ring?
Jeez, I don't know, a couple years ago?
Okay, thank you. From 1972 to the 21st century, this guy was doing his thing. No compression neck injury. I mean, obviously, he's taken hits over the years, but what are we doing here? It's all about the philosophy of the company that's lost its way. And they're taking these kids and they're running them through a ringer to get them on TV, and who cares what happens?
So wait a second. Let me
They're
get this
hell-bent for
straight.
leather to make a few
You're going
bucks.
to make an example out of the greatest pro wrestler of all time. That's like saying, Bill Russell had 11 rings and he
Hulk
played
Hogan.
ball X amount of years.
How long did Hulk
Give me a
Hogan? How long
break.
did Hulk Hogan wrestle? From the 70s into the 2000s?
79, I think.
All right, so from the say, how long did Macho Man wrestle? From the 70s into the 90s? How long?
2000s.
All right, to the 2000s. How long did Ultimate Warrior wrestle? Into the 2000s?
80s.
Yeah, exactly. You're talking about guys with 20-plus year career was the norm. It was the norm. Now, who do you have? The Rock isn't really actively wrestling anymore. You've got Undertaker. They keep dragging. Literally, he's going to need an Undertaker if they drag him out anymore.
Why are you
because
so
he
negative?
he has been around
You
so
were
long.
so negative, and it's not even
No, it's not
funny.
negativity.
Okay, no, it's
not
negativity.
negativity. It's reality.
It's ignorance.
And it just so happens that the reality that your friends have created over at the WWE is a very negative one for these people. So that's all I have to say. Take it away, Tony.
This is Tony Schiavone, and we're desperately out of time on Duke Loves Wrestling.
Thank you to Babomb for joining us, even though he's
thank you,
ducking
Babomb.
me. WrestleGamia.
Get well soon.
Also, Aaron Rift over at NoDQ.com. Next week, folks, it's our 2-year anniversary.
I may not be here.
Conrad Thompson is coming back. The return of Conrad Thompson. He's going to straighten out the Boston Bad Boy.
I can't believe that guy even talks to you. He's big time
He's
now.
a good friend of mine
He's
now.
big time
He is
now,
big
and
time.
you're going to be committed.
He's
and
going to
I
be on
can't
the WWE
wait.
Network.
Yeah,
and he's
well.
going to get rid of you.